welcome, podcast listeners and viewers of the Pedalboards of Doom livecasts. You are here with your host, it's Mr. Budget Pedal Chap, with a microphone which seems to have been on a diet this week. You'll see. It's not quite as thick and face-filling as the last one.
You wouldn't believe it. I've just had a bloody eyelash fall in my eye. That's great. It's starting the live stream. I'm like, man down.
As Queen said, the show must go on. I mean, in terms of like things that will stop a live performance, eyelash is kind of very low down there. And as you heard, the giant petal of a man, that is Mr. Lee Pedalboards of Doom, with a rather fetching Boss shirt there. Kudos on that.
Yeah, like the viewers can't see it because of the way the camera's cropped.
Okay, well,
like that. Yep.
Go on, show us your tits. But we are also joined this week. If you are a podcast frequenter, you will have heard this man. Two podcasts? No, last podcast. Was it last podcast?
It was last podcast.
I've recorded one since. You see, it's Mr. Will Powell of Pedalboards of Doom editing fame and of the new Pedalboards of Doom interviews as well. He features on a couple of them. Hi, Will. How are you? Are you there, Will? he's Will.
You done?
Will. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Well, do we need to shout louder? Will. No, he's not there. So
you built him up like that, and then suddenly he's like not there.
I know it is very much an anticlimax. I assure you, listeners and viewers, Will is worth the wait.
All right, okay. You keep talking, and I'll try and find out where he is. What's happening there?
So,
it says
hello.
Oh,
Will. Will.
I'm not sure what happened. I think Logic, whilst I went to press record on the mic, it booted out Google Hangouts for some reason.
Oh dear! So. And what's happened as well is your camera has suddenly become 2/3 of the screen rather than a full 3/3.
Okay, all right.
Whole.
You've both moved. You've leant over to the left, and Will's kind of got up.
So do you want me to
oh boy.
Is that better?
It
Lee?
wouldn't be a live stream without technical difficulties. There's always going to be something going wrong. And it's just how it goes.
And Lee's coughing like a good one in the background as well. And
look, before I die, should we talk about someone who actually has?
That's quite the segue there. That is, Lee.
That was, yeah.
That's a very, very morbid segue. But yes, we shall. We're starting the podcast, the live cast, and this podcast by directing you to some news that I only found out probably about 2 hours ago, and that's that the drummer from Cream, one of my favourite bands, most influential to my guitar playing probably aside from Thin Lizzy, Ginger Baker, he has sadly passed away today. He was 80 years old and did copious amounts of drugs way back in the 60s and early 70s, and I don't think he slowed down all that much in his formative years.
I don't think so, no. But 80 years, that's a pretty good run for most people anyway.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of like innings, he's had a pretty decent one.
Yeah.
But very, very sad news because as I mentioned, Cream have even though they only kind of spanned the space of about 3 or 4 years, I think, they made such an impact on my development as a musician.
I think on us all as well. Their music is so influential. Not only the formation of Cream was, at the time, they were like the first supergroup of well-known musicians from other bands coming together, and that influenced a whole load of the supergroup movement after that.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, there were quite a few like mega groups coming after that. And I think you'd find it hard pressed to go into a guitar shop even today, and being there for 10 minutes or even less without hearing no 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 no.
Oh yeah,
no.
For sure.
Because it's so iconic. I mean, they had some absolutely massive riffs, some massive tunes, and you had it was really like a trifecta, as you say, a super group, but just a trifecta of just really talented musicians.
It does, and that leaves only Eric Clapton of Cream now left from the group, because Jack Bruce died in 2014 of liver disease. Okay. So we lost another great today.
We did.
He was a very divisive character, even in the band. Like the guys went through their ups and downs, but it was mainly Ginger that caused the ups and downs, because he was so. He was pretty mad, like as in crazy, destructive, crazy.
Yeah.
So, but as with things like that, that can give great creative music, which obviously Cream did.
Yeah.
And that's, I think personally, although Clapton's a great guitarist, and although Jack Bruce is a great bassist, I think Ginger is what made Cream stand out.
Oh yeah, for sure. His drumming style was very different from other drummers at the time.
Yeah,
especially his use of some equipment as well. Like I remember watching a Cream reunion gig at the Royal Albert Hall, and some of the cymbals and techniques that the guy was using they're taking a lot of inspiration from jazz drummers.
Yes,
which a lot of people do, but the things like having sizzle rides is not something that most people had. But Ginger Baker had one on his kit for a long time.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time in Africa and picked up on the drum techniques from people out there, and this is something that was later on picked up by the likes of Jimmy Page and these sort of things, going out to different countries and picking up from different areas. But Ginger was the one who did that first, and you can hear it in his drumming. On Sunshine You Love, if you like, there's a lot of toms, isn't it? It's mainly toms.
Yeah, it's mostly toms, isn't it?
Very, very, very good player. Outstanding, really, way ahead of his time. But
mad as a box of frogs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The funny thing is, as a bit of trivia-wise for him, was he was old when he joined Cream. He was considered an old man then, and for him to be going all of these years still, and still gigging is. I hope we will, especially for me. Like, I hope I'm still gigging when I'm that age.
I don't gig now.
Yeah, I find it hard to stand up too fast these days. So yeah, I'm living that rock and roll Ginger Baker style lifestyle right there.
It could be much further from it.
Stand up whenever.
Much less drugs, I hope, too. Yeah.
That's it. Right. So just to wrap up this kind of little sad kind of start to the podcast, to put a little lighter spin on it. Favorite Cream song?
Oh, there's so many. I
you
love
bastard! I was going to say White Room.
Yeah.
White Room's an absolutely legendary song.
It is, yeah. It's the vocals that get me on it every time. The vocals in that huge swell that it comes up
it just comes in with a chorus of it's difficult to tell what's guitar and what's voice as well at the start.
Yeah,
I love that.
I don't know what guitar Clapton was playing in that period, but the solo on that is particularly it gets to someone. I don't know if that's Beano era. If that's Les Paul into Blues Breaker with a treble booster.
I mean, he was very Gibson back then, weren't he?
Yeah.
With Cream, it was a lot of SGs and 335s. But it's almost impossible to say what it was played on. Go on, Lee. What were we saying?
I think Strange Brew.
Yeah, Strange Brew's wicked.
Strange Brew. It really sticks in your head. That's a hell of a
So we're talking Wheels of Fire.
It's not my favourite. It's not my favourite, but it's an
iconic one.
Yeah, it's because I think White Room probably is my favourite, or Sunshine. We've said them already, so
yeah,
I'll go for Strange Brew.
I'm going to go for I'm gonna go for "We're Going Wrong." From I think that's off Des'Reilly. But yeah, I love the kind of the anguish you hear in the song.
Sorry,
it's okay. You're just making more work for the guy who's got to edit this podcast.
fool
that guy.
Oh, dear.
Oh, mate.
Need to get that kid a Vocal Zone.
That's it, yeah. Sponsored by Vocal Zone.
Every time someone has a sore throat, Will's like, "Oh, Vocal Zone."
Yeah.
He was saying the same thing to Adrian Thorpe last week, weren't he?
Well, it's because I use them a ton. That's one of the sort of things as like a vocalist in the studio. On the studio days, it's like bottles of water, not eating, and you have to have at least an entire pack of Vocal Zones to get through a session.
I'm sure that's what our Ginger Baker used to use, Vocal Zone. So.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, well, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure Bon Scott said exactly the same thing.
Yeah. He had a bottle with Vocal Zone written on it.
Right. Okay. So look, today we've got a shed load of gear, but a shed load of stuff that we've been up to. But there's also some really important news. So should we do things the other way round? Get the news out of the way, then do the what's we've been up to's. Do
we have to? Go on. Go on.
Have to.
Go on.
I think it would be the sensible way of doing it.
Go on. Have we got? Whilst we're here as well, have we got people in the chat? Can we give a shout out to those guys?
We've got Andrew. I can't see who else is on there. Will Powers just joined.
I did, yeah. I wanted to just have the stream comments up.
Awesome.
But yeah, that jumps around. But yeah, people say hi. If you're joining with us and wanting to ask questions, do join in, because that's why we're doing a live stream, so you can actually ask questions as we go through.
Before we get on to the whole Lee tells us about Germany, we'll have a little question section. But yeah, let's start with some news. Give the guys some chance to throw some questions at us.
Okay.
So, news.
So
there was a pretty big release this week, wasn't there? I mean, if you have a YouTube account on as of Wednesday, you pretty much wouldn't have been able to avoid this.
You could feel the drop from a mile away.
You could, yeah.
Everyone pressing upload at the same time.
That's it.
The whole of the United Kingdom tilted as these amps kind of got delivered.
The weight of them hit Dover Port.
Yeah.
That's it. So, what is this amp that we're talking about? It's a sword-based amp by the bosses of the amp world.
It is
Okay, so Boss Katana, ubiquitous in the gigging market. Pretty much, loads of people have been like converting to katanas because they literally like half the weight of other amps, and they still sound pretty good.
You played them?
Yeah, we did. We did at London Guitar Show. We played a Mark 1.
Did we?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we did on SMP's booth. Yeah,
at the SMP. And actually, I was pretty impressed with that. I have, I tracked with a Katana 100, and sorry to say it, boss, but all of the tracks that were recorded using that had to be scrapped because the guitar tone wasn't up to scratch. But
interesting. Okay.
But considering that amp is like essentially like the modern equivalent to like what we had was the Line 6 Spiders or the Marshall MG, it's that kind of price range. It's the lowest end kind of practice stuff.
Yeah, unless you're going for like the Air or something like that, then yeah, these are pretty reasonable.
Yeah, and if I compare a Katana to an old Spider, or compare the Katana to one of the old MG series, hands down, 10 times out of 10 would I go for that Katana.
Yeah. They are brilliant. So, they really are very, very, very good for what they're designed for. They're not designed for recording in the studio.
Yeah, I mean, there are some people who say that they've like got rid of their rigs and are using those live and are using those in the studios and whatnot. And more power to you. I was recording in a studio and the amp that we were using failed essentially. Like there was a component that stopped working in it. So we had to use what was there. And because we were unfamiliar with it, we got a tone. Chances are if we would have spent a little bit more time sorting out the tone and really honing it in, getting to know the amp a bit better, we probably could have got something a bit nicer. But we didn't, and yeah. But the Mark II is now upon us. So it's been about 2 or 3 years since the original dropped. They've had a revision with the artist where there's been certain revisions added to it, and now
so these are things that they're a functionality thing, and I think one of the criticisms of the Katana was, if I want this, that, or the other, I need to log into it with my phone or what have you, and I can't just get it off the top of the top of it. And Boss's response to that was, well, look, we've given you loads on the top, and then we've given you loads as well.
Yeah, it's Yeah, you don't necessarily need to be logging onto the interface, the computer version of the Boss editor. That's what I'm after. To be able to get a tone out of it, everything that you need is already there. Like if you want a clean tone, there's a clean setting for it, and then there's parameters for delay and for reverb and all these different parameters that you can access from the top panel. It's only if you really want to get into the fine tuning, that's where you. Well, that's not necessarily right, because there's like effects that you can't have unless you go into and save them as a preset. And that's still the case now, but you have got extra features available from the top panel now that you didn't have before, such as the variations of the amps. Yeah. So the variations is one of the big things. So the variations work basically as like an updated voicing of each channel. So for each of the 5 channels, which are like acoustic, clean, crunch, whatever. I know one of them's brown, isn't it? There's your standard voicing, and then there's the altered voicing, which has been revised. And a lot of the time, from what I've heard, it's brighter, it's more punchy. There's a bit more clarity in it. Yeah, it was. So I saw people on certain podcasts, certain groups saying, there's no difference between the variations. But I listened and I could hear a very, very clear difference on each of the variations. So it sounds like they've done a good job on it.
Yeah. Can I share my opinion on this, because I have an interesting insight. I was on a bit of a road trip with my girlfriend, and she had the phone up, like scrolling through YouTube videos, just picking out guitar videos for me to listen to in the car. And she just picked one at random.
That woman,
and I was like, this sounds really. Oh, she is. Oh well, the post I put in the group about her buying me the delay pedal, that went pretty well. So
yeah. I
think she's popular with the Pedalboard of Doom fans. So, but anyway, I didn't know what it was. So it was just like 10 minutes of a bit of, Pete Honore playing. It was just good through anything. But I was listening to it and I was like, this is really good. And I asked her, what is it? And she said, it says Boss Katana Mark II. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Because from a player's point of view, there is something that gets you about it's not a tube amp. Yeah. But then hearing it as a listener, there's no way I would have been able to tell.
Is it a placebo
And I thought that was
effect?
A really good thing. It's from a listener's point of view that it's like, it just sounds like good guitar tone.
Yeah.
But then, like you say, that's Pete. Pete can make anything sound good because he is a ridiculously talented guitarist.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, I'm sure he could have made the old MG sound good as well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that is a challenge that I am definitely going to tune in for if he does that. So, Pete, if you're listening, or anyone who is in contact with Pete, get him to try and make an old Marshall MG sound decent. So let's
pick one up for a tenner on eBay.
Whip it back around to those variations. I saw a video by the Guitar Geek this week where he literally goes through, like, really kind of scientifically and analytically, just goes through each channel, plays like an acoustic through the acoustic channel, and then hits the variation. And he just does that on each and every one of the channels.
Do you know what? I saw him the other day.
I bet you will have. But hold your horses, my friend. You get to talk about
He really wants to get to it.
You get to talk about
wants to talk about it.
Your German adventures soon.
No, that is it for meeting Andy. It was kind of like, hello mate, how you doing? Right, I've got to crack on. Bye. That was it. But yeah, I did see him.
Sprachen Summit, I think, is what we're going to say. But
yeah, crack on. Sorry.
So we've talked about I'm the wrong way around here because you've started at the bottom. I'm sure there's some kind of dirty pen.
There's a euphemism there. Yeah,
started at the bottom
somewhere.
So we've got the alternative modes. There was also this stereo mode which has been mentioned.
This is my favourite part. I think this is my favourite bit of it.
So yeah, do you want to go into a little bit of detail, because I understand a little bit of it, but I don't know the finer points of it.
When you link two of them up, one becomes as a slave, so the main controls of one will work on the other one. And if I'm correct in what I'm saying, which I think I am, it means any effects that work in stereo
can be panned across the two.
Yeah, even though they're digital, but because
you get like a wide stereo,
that sort of thing.
Yeah, so it widens the stereo, so you can get it panning across the 2 amps rather than just like a flat response across the two, because it's got a specific. What the fuck are you doing? It's got a specific.
I didn't catch that.
So it's got a specific output for this specific for the stereo mode, and I can't remember exactly what they call it. But
I'll have a look on the specs.
Yeah, see if you can find it, because I remember on the Guitar Nerds podcast that they happened to have a guy who knows a little bit about Boss on there, and he was mentioning how this stereo thing works. It doesn't work if you attach if you attach a Mark II to a Mark I. It doesn't have the software in the Mark I to be able to deal with that. If you get two Mark IIs, then it does.
They were saying that's the big reason for the upgrade was because they brought 3 software revisions to the Katana, and they could have kept adding to some of the features, but the most requested features needed more DSP handling, so they needed to change the chipset in the amplifier, basically.
Do you know what? This is an upgrade to the overall thing, because it isn't like they've just they've released a version 1 and a version 2, and the version 2 is more expensive and you can buy both. They're literally replacing the Katana 1 with the Katana 2. Like most amp companies do after X amount of years. How long has the Katana been out now? What, 4 years?
Not long. I'd say about 3 years.
That's a short life for a amplifier, because most of the ranges stick around for a while, especially in retail.
Yeah. I mean, if we go back to the Marshall MG series, that had been out for a good 20 years.
How long did it take them to realise that was shit? Seriously, it's terrible.
Well, if they were good about their finance, they would have recovered the R&D time within the first 6 months, especially with a product at that low end. And how much they were selling of them. So,
I mean, because they were ubiquitous, weren't they? They were absolutely. But the thing that strikes me about the MG series as well, the series that preceded that was the Valve state, which was like you had the AVT series, but you also had the like V100 and V50 and stuff like this, and they were absolutely fantastic sounding.
Yeah, I had one and I sold it for a lot of money to someone in a weird country. I say weird country, that's really, really a horrible
You
thing
xenophobe,
to say.
you absolute. Just,
I just turned into a racist then, didn't I?
That's it, yeah, you're one of them, mate.
Brexit!
I think we're swerving off to a tangent here a little bit, Lee. I don't think we can quite continue on this path.
No, I think we need a very hard segue to another topic.
Well, speaking
Probably
of
good for
boss,
time.
I'll give you a hard segue. Wanky. But yes, so the Boss Katana 2 has been, Mark 2, should I say, has been causing some rather hefty waves on the intertube webnets. Are there any other features on the new Katana? Oh, yes.
There's some new effects.
Yes. Not only that though, the editor has been updated because, as I was informed again by Matt Knight and the Guitar Geek, is that the old editor, although functional, was a little bit unwieldy. And they said that they've updated that so that it's now friendly and doesn't punish you.
As a user of those editing softwares on other Boss products, there's a lot that's set out very logically, and there's a lot that is very usable from an artist's point of view, but there's some basic stuff that is very difficult. I've been messaging Boss tech support about the ES8 editor software, but that's a different issue. But yeah, I'm glad that they've made it a bit more user-friendly.
Beautiful, yes, yeah. I mean, it's something that I don't have any experience with in terms of that specific editor, but I can absolutely sympathise that if an editor is difficult to use, that could absolutely lay waste to your plans of setting up a decent tone. And it could be enough for you to just go, well, fuck it, I won't practice tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really need that much sometimes, do you? Sometimes it's just that little bit that gets in the way and you think, no, never mind.
Or sometimes it's just breaking a string and going, now I've got to change all of them. God damn it. What's the point?
It depends which string. If I break like a high E, I take that as a challenge and try and play whatever I was trying to play without the high E.
But if you lose one of the middle strings, then it's like, well,
you're fucked. You're absolutely fucked.
Channel your inner Keith Richards there, don't you?
Yeah, if you break the low E, you just go, well, it's tuned to open G and let's stones it up.
Let's just keep going for it. But I've broken strings on bass live, and I broke both the D and the A, 2 gigs back to back. And I was like, okay, so I had to really start thinking, being like, okay, right, so that's when you know that your fretboard knowledge is good. It's like, if you lose one of your other strings, you can continue playing your song, just really high frets.
What Will's forgetting to add there is he saw Paul Gilbert use a drill as a pick. I thought, I'll do this with a chainsaw instead.
Yeah.
Apparently, I've been told by luthiers that for someone who uses quite light strings, I play really hard, apparently. Yeah. So they were like, you should probably go a gauge up. And I'm like, nah, 9s are fine. They will survive.
On the bass?
No, on guitar now.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I'm a guitarist now.
No wonder you snapped the bloody thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Tuning down to bass as well, it just sounds like rattling.
Oh,
sounds
yeah,
like corn.
Flopping all over the place. No, I'm a guitarist now. I learnt my lesson.
All right, guys.
Right, boys, let's
Yeah, let's go.
Right, Boss have also released 2 new delay pedals. When I say new delay pedals, one new delay pedal and... Sorry?
The Duddy 8 and the Duddy 3T, is it?
3T, yep.
Yeah, exactly. The double D, double
literally,
D40s.
that is where my knowledge ends. So you're going to have to explain this as if you were explaining it to a 5-year-old.
Okay, are you listening? Are you sitting comfortably?
I'm sitting comfortably. I'm not listening. I mean, Pictures would be better if you can help with that.
Well, if you were watching the podcast live stream, you would see pictures, very, very crap pictures, because I have just ripped them straight off of Google. But you've got a DD8 and a DD3T. Now, the DD3, from what I understand, is one of the longest serving, if not the longest serving pedal. It came out in the early 80s, and it hasn't left the books since. Unlike the Katana 1. So
what does the T stand for in it? Because I'm assuming it's
tap tempo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
it's basically the DD3 with just tap tempo in.
Okay.
There was another thing that they've added to it, and I can't remember what it was. There is one other little thing that they've added to it. I cannot remember exactly what it was.
I've got Boss's page up. I'll let you know if there's anything of note.
There's a hidden...
DD8 is a direct upgrade from the DD7, basically. So it's got a shimmer on it and things like that, and it's a
shimmer delay.
Sorry,
shimmer delay.
Yeah, shimmer delay. Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Is this something that the kids want these days?
Shimmer? Yeah, man. Shimmer's cool.
I know shimmer reverb's a thing, but shimmer delay.
Boss sent me these two the other day, right? They sent me... Might as well join these two things in together, eh? They sent me the... cameras here. The DD200. And the...
EQ 1 million.
That was to try them out and see what we think, and we're going to pass them around us free and have a look at them and do videos on them and these sort of things.
Yeah.
And what I think they've done... is they thought, okay, look, we've got the DD500, which I've also got down there. That's a little bit complicated. It does freak people out a little bit. Let's make something a little bit more simple. And then someone said, well, what about the DD7? It kind of like leaves that a little bit struggling. Why don't we just use the technology that's in this and make it even more simple than this? And then we've covered all the bases. We've got the DD3, which is like the simplest of the simple. We've got, what's the analog one? The Wazza analog one? The
DM2.
DM2, yep. So we've got that for the analog purists. Then we've got the DD8 for someone who wants a small compact pedal but with everything on it. Then we've got the DD200 who people want just that little bit more. And then we've got the DD500 for people who want everything.
So I look at it.
Everything.
Can you do me a favour? Do me a favour and just point the arse end of that DD200 towards the camera so we can see what... so what's it got? Is that an expression?
It's stereo in and out. Expression.
And then is a
there's
USB.
also MIDI TRS.
Yeah, so you've got stereo ins. I don't know if because your camera's slightly different to that. Stereo ins, stereo outs. Expression control, which is control 1 and 2. On the sides, you've got MIDI in and out. And then you've got a USB for updates and that sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm surprised they went with micro on the side, with Type C being a much more modern connection. But how I see that what they've done with this range is there's a delay for everyone in their range now, which is brilliant. If you just want a bit of a delay, DD3T. It now has a looper, by the way, which was the other feature that they've added to it. It didn't have before. Yeah, there's a looper in it now as well.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah,
so it's kind of it's competing with the flashback there, isn't it? Because
it is. So I think it's competing with the flashback mini because you can get a couple sounds if you want, and then it's just there. It's simple. DD8 is for someone who wants to compete with like the flashback, where there's multiple modes and it's you kind of set and forget whatever you want. The DD200 is for someone who wants the extra bit of control over the parameters. Who's like, I've got a MIDI switcher, I want to switch out a delay on this song, a delay on this patch, whatever, but I don't care that much about how it's doing its job. And then the DD500 is there. If you're a total delay nerd, and you're like, I've got to have a tape echo, and it's got to be like an EP1 type, and I've got to have heads 1 and 2, then you can do that, save it to a patch, call it by like big size MIDI.
And that's
understood
basically what I do.
At least 3 of those words that you said in that last one.
There's a bunch of delays on the market, like you say, the timeline. Sorry, not the timeline. The TC flashback. You've got the canyons and these sort of things, and like everyone's been bringing them out, and it's kind of Boss's territory. And they've just said, "Well, hang on a minute. Look, why don't we? What do you got there? Was that one of those Moore things?"
Yeah, it looks at Anna Echo.
The Anna Echo. Yeah, it's like the DM2W. That's I've just done a little video about that as well. Actually, that should be coming out on Friday.
And that's on the Pedal Boards of Dame channel, is it?
No, that's on the Budget Pedal Chat one. That is.
Is it?
No, I've done a couple for the pedal boards. The ones that I've done for pedal boards have been slightly more in depth. So I've been I started doing a kind of no bullshit tone demos of pedals on Budget Pedal Chat, and it's called No Talk All Tone, where I literally just go straight into playing. Just play the pedal. That's it, and that'll be week number 2. Is the Anna Echo, but nice. That's the kind of delay guy that I am. It's exactly that pedal. You've got 3 controls.
Analog delay.
Yeah.
Analog delay, 3 controls. You don't want tap tempo. I just want some wash. That's all I want.
That's it. Yeah. I want. It sounds a little bit like reverb, but
okay.
I'll tell you what, man. You come down and have a go on some of the patches that I've got on my DD500, and it will change your mind completely. I promise you. It is just it's like a whole new effect. Some of the things I've got on there. I've got one that you only use it in stereo. It's an Eddie Van Halen thing, and it's two vintage delays, but they're like they're Virgin on digital, but they're not quite, and they're running at different times with different sort of delay amounts. And it's just magical. You just play it and you're just like, oh my God, I'm suddenly a superhero.
Yeah. That is one of the features of the bigger Boss delay pedals as well, is that you can have multiple on at the same time, which is a technique used by people like Brian May on quite a lot of Queen songs, is to have
he does the ping
3
pong,
delays.
He does the pom.
Yeah.
But he used to use two Boss. I think it was like DD5s or something.
Yeah.
And just have...
The reason you started using those, the same with Mr. Gilmore, is that they're the closest you could get in those days, compact, to what tape should sound like.
Yeah,
everyone has this idea that tape is supposed to be degraded as hell, but it's not. If you play
if you've got a good tape,
they're clear.
It's beautiful and crystal clear. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It depends on how old the tape is. On day one, it will sound as clear as you like.
Yeah. So, for the sake of getting all of the stuff done this week, shall we leave the Boss delays and the 200 series there, and move on to?
I've got to say the EQ is amazing. We can go into more detail on it, maybe next live stream or something, because that will give me a bit more time to do some stuff. But this is
I'm looking forward
amazing.
to that. So powerful.
It is, it's definitely going to be on my board. This is definitely going to be on my board.
So I think we're going to call this next segment Lee is the worst, or Lee does Germany. One of the two.
Hang on a minute. We need to address something quickly.
I'm already addressed.
I was adopted by aliens, man.
Of course.
Yes, and I've had some kind words from viewers and listeners asking me how I am and how I escaped, and I just don't want to talk about it. It's a very, very hard thing for me to get over, and I'm going to leave it there.
Very sensitive bottom hole after the whole experience.
All I'll say is this had a lot to do with it.
Oh my. For the listeners, that is that's what we call an interesting Friday night.
I think it's a 4-inch screw with a self-tapping screw. Yeah.
Like all good things, you start at the bottom.
Way.
I knew I'd find a way to, I'd get that call back in.
Go on. So Lee.
So where we left it last time was I was just about to talk about case guitars, and you said my train leaves in 2 minutes, and we had to basically leg it.
I edited that bit out, so they didn't know about that.
I did listen.
You did call it out. Well, I wouldn't let you live that down.
Oh no,
that was funny.
It was a moment of realization. It was almost like epiphany epiphany.
Yeah.
Like I was sitting there and thinking, that time looks really familiar. Oh shit! That is the time that my ticket says. And then we ran, but you bumped into the guys from Case Guitars, and when
so
me
we
and
saw
Will
them on the tube, didn't we?
yes, so me and Will diverged at one point, and we went and had a chat with. I think that was when we was having a chat with SMP. Actually,
Yes, it was. Yeah.
you went off on a little jolly. Oh, you little scamp! And
I was doing work for other work and stuff, and I popped over to see John and Joseph at Case Guitars. Look, I won't go too much into because we're at 40 minutes already, and I've got so much to tell you about the last week. But let's just put it this way, right? They've got these wonderful, wonderful, wonderful single cuts, which aren't quite Les Pauls because they're like an offset Les Paul. And they put T-cut onto the onto them to give them that to give you that sort of satin aged look. And my God, they look fantastic. They play fantastic. Joseph and I, when we got the train together, we had a really long way to go. It was over an hour's trip, and we had a good old chat about them. He was giving me so much information. They're moving into a new premises now, so they're stepping up production, and I really expect good things from this company because they are killing it. They've got a lot to do with Atkin Guitar, so Alistair has something to do with them. He's known them for years. Okay, yeah. So there's some relationship there as well, and so that's where they are. So if you get a chance to try them because. And keep an eye out for them because I reckon they're going to be at a lot of guitar shows. Yes. Probably going to be at Ligs.
Stuart mentioned them actually. Stuart Tate Effects. He said that they were absolutely phenomenal. Which I mean, he's a guy who's played quite a few guitars and knows a thing or two. He was raving about them. It might be worth, if we can, maybe getting them on the cast and getting them to talk about some of their products as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think Joseph would be up for that. Yeah, he's such a dude as well. Yeah,
it seemed like a really nice chap.
One thing they were showing off at the show was Joseph actually a bass player, and he started creating some basses as well. So they've moved into the bass range.
Nice.
He's a lefty as well, so I think they might be making left-hand basses. Am I right in saying that? I think I am.
Ooh.
Am I right in saying that they're going to be left? Interesting turn of phrase. So Lee, we've put it off for long enough. You went to Germany it was Summit about guitars, wasn't it?
It was some summits about guitars. So I went over to Germany. As you guys know, I'm working for Tonepedia, so went over there with the Tonepedia guys and representing them. But obviously I was representing myself as well, man. And it was fantastic. It was the best guitar show I've ever been to. Let's get that one down for a start because it was silent. There was three main floors. For each floor dedicated to a different thing. Every stall you couldn't have your amps playing. You had to have headphones. So most of the guys had these little Rev 20s. You know, the ones that have like a built-in cab sim and all that sort of thing.
Interesting.
I'm very much thinking about getting one of them because they sounded ace. They really did. So I'm having a talk with them at the moment. I got to play one of the Rev. I got to play all the Rev pedals, but the purple one is the best one. Don't worry about the others. Yep. That's it done.
in Lee's opinion, I'm sure they're all brilliant. But purple one, okay.
Seriously.
So the summit itself. Let's have a look what we got here. So,
what have you got there?
You got. You had a chat with guys at Wilkinson Guitar. Well, Wilkinson Guitar Hardware, didn't you?
Yes, very, very interesting. One of the highlights for me of the trip was I got to spend some really good quality time with some people who've been in the industry for a long time. Long time. Yeah. And one of these was with the main man from Wilkinson. and he was explaining to me that he picked up one of the original machines that they used to wind the original PAF pickups, the old PAFs. And the chap who originally done it, called Seth Lover, who was the original inventor of the humbucker, heard that he'd picked this machine up, came over to see it, to see if it was original, and it was. But whilst he was there, they had a good old chat about the pickups, and he told me some crazy facts, and I'll just highlight a few. One, it was just a few girls winding 6 pickups at a time with these machines. Now, they'd be counting, not with a counter, but just on top of their heads, but they'd also be talking to Mary about, and Dolores and that, about, what they've been up to this weekend, so, trying to keep count and this sort of thing. So it wasn't a precise science. If there was a break, they'd just tie it off and then they carry on. But the guys at Gibson didn't really like this because it meant that it was slowed down too much, so they just ended up saying, if one breaks, just carry on, get the other 5 wound, and then we'll go back and sort that. And they were like, well, how do we know what number it broke at? And there's like, oh, don't worry about that. Right? So that means that the paths were just all over the place. So if someone's got these really, really, really lovely sounding 58, 59 Les Paul, and they're like, yes, because I've got paths in it, man. It's like, the chances are it's not going to sound anything like another pair.
Yeah, that was just our Mary having a good afternoon.
Yeah, and then there was other things such as the nickel was becoming too expensive for the covers, so they said, okay, let's use brass. And then they said, oh, okay, yeah, but we need to nickel coat the brass and make it look the same, but the brass strangles the sound of it. It's like muffles the sound. So they went backwards and forwards and that. So there was varying types of PAFs as well.
Yeah. Even
though they look mostly the same. The shape is weird because it's more oval and these sort of things. But Wilkinson have created this replica based on the information given to them by Seth Lover. You're not going to get any more accurate than that, really, are you? This is the guy who invented the fucking thing. And he's saying, look, this is how you do it. If you want a proper PAF, this is the specifications that we did it to. And and they're doing it. They're not wax potted. Neither were the original paths, sorry. Do you know they weren't broken up into bridge and neck either? They were just like, there's a bucket full of pickups.
Yeah, you got a pickup. Yeah. Here you go. Here's one. Here's the other.
Yeah, which meant that they kind of The only difference between the Wilkinson one and the paths, he said, is on the neck. Like your strings are closer together at the nut than they are at the bridge.
Yeah.
So he's put the pole pieces slightly wider
on the bridges.
On the bridge, yeah. And he said that's the only difference. It's very interesting conversation. There was a lot more to it than that because he spent about 45 minutes telling me all about it. But, God, it was interesting.
It's one of those things that in that era as well, people didn't really understand the importance of component variance. Whereas now, a good component is you can get plus or minus 5% on a value of a part. But back then,
plus or minus 1%.
Fender, for example, Fender would use whatever the hell they had.
A bucket of parts, and they go, well, this one's this one's 250k, but it's actually reading like 180. Just stick it in. Fine.
This is one of the other things that he said. It was a case of they said that they used this wire, right? But if they called up the wire companies and said, okay, look, I need some more of this, and they said, oh, we haven't got it in, what was the next thing they were going to say?
What's the closest?
Yeah, what else have you got?
Yeah.
So
because they want to sell. They're in the business of selling guitars, so they need whatever parts they can get those orders out the door.
Yeah, you can't turn around and go, sorry, Dolores, no work for you this week because the wire company hasn't got any wire. You need to keep knocking these guitars out.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, so it's... There's probably some holy grail pickup out there that sounds absolutely fantastic, which if you compared it to all the other PAFs, nothing like it.
Had a brass cover and thicker wire and only half the windings, and but
it's not
sounds
a path
amazing
on paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really was.
Yeah. A PAF is just a state of mind, isn't it? It's rather than a specific set of values. It's just.
I think.
Yeah, this was made in the 50s and 60s, so this has got to be good.
Well,
Yeah, there's part of the mojo of I now own pickups from the 60s and 70s. I have a bass with a 70s mudbucker in it.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, man. But that's part of the mojo of it, and that does inspire you as a player to being like, I have a guitar that has this in it, and that's nice. But with anything with those parts, it's all part of the greater whole. It's I say this all the time. You picked me up on this last time.
I did.
But if there's all these parts that come together to make a fantastic guitar, and if the pickups aren't there on one of them, but the wood's great, you can change them out and do whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just something that you could take it on its own and then put it in a different guitar and it wouldn't really work. It's just one of those
sum of the parts
cylinders that's firing,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Right, Lee. Let's because I've noticed our times ticking. Even further.
I was just say this. I had a very nice evening with one of the guys who works for Jensen, and he was also a wealth of knowledge. And I was going to go into a lot of detail about that, but we don't really have time. But just to say that I found myself feeling so grateful. These are sort of conversations that sometimes end with, "Oh, sorry, look, I've been going on, I'm boring you," and there's me like, "No, carry on," because
tell me more.
This is brilliant, you know.
You are not inconveniencing me. Carry on,
Yeah, I loved it, and learning about speakers and these sort of things. I learned some wonderful things about speakers, and if anyone knows things about speakers, it's Jensen. They've been at it for a long, long time. I played the Boss OD 200. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's the thing, isn't it?
Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because that's one I've been gassing for, that one.
It's a very, very difficult thing to state because there's lots and lots of tones in it, but I need to hear it through my own rig because I don't know if it was the amp making it sound like it did, whether it was the headphones making it sound the way it did. It sounded good, but I think it can sound better, and I think it's going to sound a lot more open when I play it through my Les Paul and Marshall. I reckon through that setup, it's going to sound a lot better than it did in the thing. I did have the chance to play the SY1. I didn't, and I'm kicking myself for it. But
I've got a note on that. Last night I was with Hello Sailor Effects, and we were at a backstage at a Gary Newman show.
Oh man!
Oh yeah, of course,
yeah. It was a pretty special experience. But we got to come up on stage. So we were invited in for sound check, and when the band were done sound checking, we got to come on stage, talk to Steve, Gary Newman's guitarist, and see his entire rig and have a private rig rundown. And that was absolutely fascinating. And on his board was an SY1, and we were like, "What do you think of that?" And he was like, "It's the best pedal I've ever played."
Oh, that's
high praise.
Some praise coming from the band that really is like the synth masters, aren't they? The meisters.
Oh yeah.
Man, I tell you what, Will. If you told me you were going to that and there was a ticket, I would definitely have been there with you. I love that stuff. I love synth so much.
It was a fascinating night, and most of the night I was explaining how oscillators work to Hello Sailor, and he was loving it. He was like, "Oh, how's this bit work? How does this bit in synth work?" and stuff like that. And it was a really fascinating night. But the show was fantastic. That light show was incredible. But anyway, this is artist sort of related. We need to move on with get off the tangent and back to Germany.
We do. We need let's get back on the plane.
So what else have I got written down there, man?
So you had an exclusive look at some Engel amps, did you not?
Well, yes, yeah. They so there is some news coming out of the Engel camp in the next few weeks, which I'm excited to be part of. So we're looking to do a bit of work with them here and there, and I had a few drinks with the guys. We had a couple of whiskeys and stuff like that. It was nice. Saw a fantastic band that were doing all like TV show covers, but in like a really almost like country style. They were fantastic. They really were.
Nice.
But that's neither here nor there. They've got their big ass. I think it's the Powerball. They took me down.
Powerball. They've got the Fireball as well. They've got. They've got quite a few.
Whatever their biggest one was, the
Invader's bigger than that, though, isn't it? The Invader is bigger than that.
Yes, it was the Invader. I'm sure it was the Invader. But yeah, they've let me rip on that through a replica of a 1959 Les Paul. It was like a custom shop one, and I just got to tear that really, really loud. Loads of fucking gain on it, and oh my god, it was awesome. Yeah, I was very lucky to be able to. I think anyone could go down there and do it, but it was the Engel guys themselves who took me down there to have a bash on it and took me through the amp and stuff. I was so pleased. We had a look at. I think I've got Victory down on there as well.
Yes, I've been waiting for you to tell me about this because we didn't get to speak much about it.
I did play it
before we started rolling.
I didn't play it because simply time restrictions. I was doing business with Victory as opposed to just there to play. And the oh my god, they've got this coppery looking lunchbox head, which is an AC30. And everyone who I spoke to who played it said it was just amazing. Very, very
What is the name on it?
I can't remember.
This one?
I can't remember.
It starts with copper something, and I thought it was going to be the copper, as in because that's what you know.
Yeah. No, I can't remember, but I think it's like only coming out like next week or something along those lines. They didn't give me a time on it. It wasn't something I was overly trying to get information on because there was other things that we were talking about, but. Yeah, that was quite cool. That's what I can talk about from there. Origin were with them. They shared a stall upstairs and downstairs. So downstairs in the amp area, it was very, very loud. The rest of the show was perfectly quiet, but you had to go quite far and then into this basement. And as you got closer to it, there was nothing in between, no stalls in between for a good 100 meters or something. And as you got closer, the sound just got louder and louder and louder. And then when you were in there, it was hell. It really was. You know, you had to have your earplugs in. But, that's where Origin and Victory were. And that's where they actually had two stalls, one on the top floor, one down there. But they moved everything downstairs strangely because they hated it. But I got to try the Revival Drive. The Revival Drive
version.
Compact. Wow. Just wow. It is simply quite possibly the best sounding overdrive pedal I've ever heard. It's just unbelievable.
That's some high praise.
I've been told that it is incredibly amp-like. It's so responsive that it feels like you are plugged directly into an amp. Yeah,
it just feels. I don't know if you know when you're playing through an amp and it feels like a metallic almost. There's something in the EQ that kind of makes it feel an amp just feel more. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to use buzzwords like organic and all this sort of thing.
Go on.
It's hard not to. But yeah, you have to play it for yourself. Buzzwords. When you play it yourself, you understand what it is that I'm talking about. Yeah. And it was very easy to use, very easy to dial in. You know, I got some wicked tones out of it.
Because the negative words that have been said about the full size one is that it's absolutely amazing if you've got the time to dial it in, but whenever you move to a different room, there are so many settings on it that it will take another however many 30 minutes or whatever to dial back in what you already had.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I got to also.
It's probably one of those pedals that needs analog circuits but digital controls so that you could have patches saved.
100%. Yeah, and that's I've said that to Origin time and time again. I think everyone has, but I don't think they know the tech on that. But you know, Simon, who I think he creates these circuits, is somewhat of a genius. You know, we had a really long conversation, and you know, about various different things. And the guy really knows what he's talking about. Yeah, I know a fair thing or two about like compression, but the guy just talked me through the Kali 76, and I understand my Kali. I thought I understood my Kali 76, but now I really certainly do, a lot better than I did. I also tried the stacked Kali 76 as well. That was nice. That was a really thick tone. That was quite a nice thing to play. What else have I got written down there, dude?
Oh, you got loads. Game changer, the Jack White. You actually got to have a go with the Jack White variant on the plasma pedal, didn't you?
That's it. So it's got two switches on that, and the second one you've got it relates to this knob, and you've got basically what you can either have it so when you switch it's momentary or not, and it's basically an octave switch. So you can get the plasma. If you've not played the plasma pedal, it's around here somewhere, but there it is. So it drops the you've got this plasma tube here, and it sends the electricity through that, and that's how you get your sound. And it's very fuzzy, and it's a lot of fun, a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of sputtery, Velcro-y fuzz, isn't it?
That's it. And when you hit the second button on the plasma pedal, it does whatever you say it to do on the octave of it, but there is a setting that makes it go da, da, do, da, da, do. So it's not just up or up and up. It can go up and down and stuff like that. So it makes the plasma tube behave in a certain way and stutter in a certain way. So that's really cool. That was really, really groovy.
Can I ask, when you were doing that, did the voltage through the tube, when you were putting the octave up or down, was the voltage through the tube changing, or did it look the same as you were playing?
Not a clue.
Okay, because the way that octave fuzz works is it folds the waveform after the fuzz. But that's classic octave fuzz. So if they were doing it like that, then that's the kind of way that I'd have in my head how that circuit works. But if they're changing the voltage in the tube, that'd be a really unique way of getting the octave.
Well, I just play these things.
Sorry, I nerd out about the circuits.
I just work here. I don't, you need a manager.
I understand quite a bit about pedals and stuff like that, but with that, I really don't know. I understand what you're saying, though. So what was the next thing we've got down?
Go on. B&G guitars. I thought I've written big guitars. So tell us about big guitars.
All right, B&G guitars. If you haven't seen them, you really should. I post about them from Tonepedia all the time. They are they're based in Israel. They make some of the most beautiful electric guitars. They're hollow bodies, and they have a hand-built in Israel range. They also have a Chinese range, and you will struggle to tell the difference. And that's not saying that the handmade ones are bad. That's saying that the Chinese ones are very, 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 very good.
The quality control is really, really tight.
We were hanging out with Chris Buck for a little bit.
Reverend do exactly the same, don't they? There's a lot Korean, but their quality control is over in America, so that literally nothing gets through them. It has to be absolutely perfect.
Built in South Korea, spec'd in Detroit. Is where Reverend guitars are out of, and funnily enough, they share a factory with Chapman.
Yes,
in South Korea.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the companies go from because it's World Guitars, isn't it?
I think
the
so.
Big one
There's two big ones in Korea, isn't there? And it's one or the other. They're always with.
They've made a career out of it, haven't they?
So we were at dinner with the guys from B&G, Avi, and I can't think of the other guy's name off the top of my head. Lovely chaps. Yeah. And they were telling me about they've got a quality control guy now who's bang on it, who actually does the visits to the Chinese branch, to make sure that everything's being done properly, because they just will not accept shit. I couldn't believe it. I picked up one, right, and I was playing it, and I had no idea they even made Chinese ones, and I knew these were good. You know, they're not cheap either; they're bloody expensive. But I was playing them for a good while, and I was, you know, when you just start. I think Will said this, you know, there's a sort of time sometimes you start playing an instrument or a pedal or something, and then you kind of like, you forget to talk or you forget to do what you're supposed to be doing because you're just enjoying it.
You listen to the
you're
podcast.
in the moment.
Yeah. And
it's speaking to you as an artist.
Absolutely. And I was loving it in a big way. Really, really loving it. And they were like, that's a Chinese one, you know. I was like, no way, not a chance. I couldn't believe it. So, absolutely blown away by that. Oh, we saw Eastman as well. We played some of their stuff, and you know, they're just going from strength to strength.
The Eastman stuff is bloody brilliant.
It really is.
It's absolutely fantastic, and the prices of it, considering like the look and the finish, is up to the standard of what you'd expect from like Gibson. They're ridiculously cheap in comparison.
Yeah, for sure. What was the next thing we had written down?
I mean, we've got a fair few, but I just wanted to say the word Ignazio.
Ignazio, that was that was our friend from Jensen. Yeah, so
it was
very, very, very lovely man. Really, really cool.
Absolutely beautiful name as well, Ignazio.
Ignazio, yeah, Italian.
Ignazio,
brilliant guy, really brilliant guy.
So Jupiter Effects.
Jupiter, I've been a big fan of Jupiter Effects for years. I've known Chris via the internet for years, and finally, after a long bromance online, we finally got to meet, which was cool. And that's it, really.
Sweet. We've got a couple more things. You got to play some Strandbergs.
So what?
You got to play some Strandbergs.
Oh, God, yeah.
Headless?
Yes.
Not heads? Slanty frets?
Are they cricket bats?
No. I want one of these so bad. I really do. They are lovely. And they're Swedish. I got to speak Swedish to them, which was cool. But yeah, I don't know where to start with them other than I love forward moving things. You know, I love I would love a classic 1959 Les Paul. Of course, we all would. But I also want the guitar from the future. I want the guitar that Bill and Ted played. And this is basically it, really. You know, and they played lovely, Fran-fretted, but they weren't overly Fran-fretted. Yeah, beautiful. Not overly heavy, but not overly light either. Just beautiful. Oh God, I love them, and they look so cool. Do you know what? They make a telly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it still looks like a Strandberg, but it's a black guard,
blonde with a black guard. Yeah, I've seen them,
and with the telly pickups in. I thought it was quite funny.
Seeing as they have no head, the only place you have to start is at the bottom.
Wahey! Wahey! Oh, Will gets it. Will gets it. I've played Strandbergs before. The weird trapezoidal neck profile can get to fuck.
Yeah. I love that. That was really nice because it
but you filthy boy.
What's interesting about it is you have it's flatter at the bottom near the nut, so where the head would be, and you've got more of an angle at the top, and then as you come down,
it curves around
further down. Yeah, the middle pit kind of moves up, and you've got less room at the top near the body, and more room down the bottom for ease of access.
Yeah, because it's exactly ease of access near the bottom. Whoa. We'll leave that where it is. Nobel pedals.
So let me grab one because I mentioned that there's a story to this, right? Our friend Phil from Pedal Patch.
Phil. Yeah.
He found this in a skip or a bin. I don't know what he was doing in a skip, but he found it.
looking for pedals, probably.
Yeah.
As you do.
Then
I try, charity shops and like pawn shops, but
Then he
Skips,
gave it.
yeah, much cheaper.
He then gave it to Stu. I popped up to see Stu because I was in the area, so I popped over to his work and we were having a chat. And he went, "Here, look, this isn't very good. You take
Have
it.
this.
Yeah, have this." I then rock up at a Guitar Summit and I'm talking to Nables because this is a brand from millions of years ago and made with pride in Korea, it says. Anyway, they haven't really been around for a while, and they've basically started up again. I had a good old chat with the guy who owns Nobles, and he was another interesting man, but I won't go into the story. He told me a very, very interesting story about lawsuits and these sort of things. But first off, I told him about this, and he said there is a chance it's worth a small fortune. So I've got to have a word with Phil about that. Because
half and half, split the profits.
Yeah, I did the research.
I went and spoke with the chap.
On their new pedals that they're bringing out, are they keeping their old school? Well, there's no other way of saying it. Boss style enclosure.
So two answers to that: yes and no. They've got the original one that looks like this but green. So yeah, it does look a bit like a Boss style thing. There's very big differences between this and the Boss, but there is some similarities as well. Yeah. That's because I'm holding it close to the camera, mate. Right.
Hinged in a different place as well.
Look, okay,
close.
so look, I've got an Aria pedal here as well, and these are very, very much of the same sort of thing. And Aria pedals are quite popular. And then I've got another Boss pedal, and when you look at the Boss pedal, you can see a huge, huge difference.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger, a lot taller. That pedal shop's at the big and tall store.
Yeah,
don't think you have those in the UK, but
so
Nope.
they have the one that looks like this but green, which is their Tube Screamer, which is very popular with the Texas blues players in a big way. All I ever see is them about them anymore, and they now do a mini version. So the one that Adam was holding up earlier. Which and that's of the same pedal. So exactly what I said to you there, Will. Yes and no, because they offer both.
Just for
they're one of those
reference. There's a mini pedal, and that is close to the camera. That's very close. I'm gonna.
That is actually a Tube Screamer as well.
That is. Funnily enough,
that's it close to my head.
They're great. Them mini Tube Screamers, they really are.
Yeah.
So they are slightly different to a Tube Screamer, but I don't know how because I've not A/B'd them. But where if we manage to sort it all out and get them up on Tonepedia, then you will be able to A/B them directly and hear what the differences are.
Fantastico.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So I've just looked at the time, and we are past the time mark. I don't think we've got any more in your Schnitzel adventure.
There is so much more that happened, and I wish I had time to say. It would take a whole podcast and a half just to go through that show. It was amazing. It really was. And I
we did this every other week.
Yeah, I urge two things. One, if you run a guitar show and you have the opportunity to run it in the same sort of way, because it will improve your guitar show a millionfold. Because it was just simply no tinnitus whatsoever from that weekend.
It's very specific advice here, Lee. I think we should at least widen our audience. If you happen to own a guitar show, really kind of aiming it towards a very small market here.
Yeah. I think the thing is, if you go to a guitar show, please bring ear defenders.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I mean, that's much better advice. But here you go.
The other one was the other thing. If you get a chance, go to that show because
I'm going to throw in.
Go on.
I'm going to throw in a bonus bit of advice here, which is slightly more accessible to everyone because. your first bit of advice was if you run a guitar show, and the second bit essentially was if you have a chance to go to Germany for a guitar show. So I'm gonna give us a bit of just generic guitar advice. Carry a spare pack of strings, because you never know when you're gonna break.
You dick. I wonder where you were going with this. Do you know what though? Loads of people have been asking me about how it was, and because they're thinking about going, and that included people who run their own guitar shows as well. So
I've been told.
I'm being a bit sassy now.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it was just me busting balls there, which I think is perfectly fine. Before we wrap up the show, I'm gonna just send out an apology to Joe. Oh. We had a couple of your questions. I'll show you here. We've got a couple of your questions that were written down. I mean, you just ignore the fact that there was a giant penis drawn on that piece of paper. We had your questions written down, but because obviously we've run out of time, I imagine that the next non-live podcast, me and Matt will tackle those, and we will credit you on that. All of those people in the chat who did put your questions in, I am sorry. This was a very self-centered episode where one of us, not mentioning any names, Lee, just carried on talking. No, I mean, the
sorry, I went
and
had fun, man.
It's very kind of time sensitive, the Guitar Summit stuff, and just having that experience as part of our stuff, as part of like the Pedalboards of Doom, and of course for the Timepedia stuff is something that, as you say, not all of us get a chance to do. So it's good having an insight into that. I think in the next couple of weeks we'll be going to yet another one as well, won't we?
We are, yeah, at the end of the month.
Yes, Kempton Park.
And I imagine that there's going to be a lot more of the people who listen to this there. So if you see us, do come over and say hello. We're going to be doing some filming, so we may even do a little bit of a quick shoot with you to see what you've seen.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
actually,
cool.
Get some podcast viewer / listener interaction. Get some guys on film and get that shown in our group, which would be amazing. But yeah, so absolute, just amazing. Thanks to Lee for bringing us some news from Germany. Thank you for Will for stepping in very last minute and doing an absolutely fantastic job on the podcast today. It is always a pleasure to podcast with you both, gentlemen.
Thanks,
thank you to the listeners and the viewers who've tuned in today, because without you guys, this would just be literally us just talking at each other, pretty much.
Can you sit up? Thank
Hello.
You. You were half a face.
You were doing that, the thing that girls do where they take a picture of only half of their face. You were doing the video version of that.
Yeah, I'd started leaning to the right because I'd been messing with my pedal board. So thank each and every one of you for doing that. And if you're in the live stream at the moment, make sure that you go on any of the podcatchers like iTunes, Acast, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, all of those, and subscribe to the Fret Talk podcast. If you are a listener, share this podcast with one other person, and then our listenership doubles, and that's amazing. Obviously, more listeners, better stuff that happens, and the more places we'll be invited to, which is brilliant. If you want to catch me online, you go Facebook, Instagram. Oh, fuck off. Yeah, if you want to catch me online, apart from Lee, who can go fuck himself, you go on. You go on Instagram, you go on Facebook, you go on YouTube. It is /budgetpedalchap, of which there are new videos coming out very soon. I am also on the Pedalboards of Doom YouTube channel. Lee, you are pretty much everything YouTube, everything Pedalboards of Doom and Tonepedia related.
Yep.
Correct?
That's right.
And Will, a Rocket Complex.
Yes, you can find the things I create and mostly music for A Rocket Complex on all social media platforms. And we have a new single coming out, hopefully before the end of the year. It's called Freshen Up.
Whoop whoop.
I
And
really love what it's about. It's correct.
as do I.
I'll send you guys a private link to the track after this. I think you guys are going to really love it.
I have no doubts. So yeah, awesome. From myself, Mr. Budget Pedal Chop. From Lee, the man, the legend, the pedalboard of doom. From Mr. Will Pole, it will be a tatty bye. And good night for this week.
Goodbye.
Ta-ra, Ruby.
See ya.
Ta-da. Bye.
Oh shit! I need to end the podcast, don't I? Right.
That you do. Otherwise, I'm just going to be stood here waving.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
I was just sitting there, like twiddling my thumbs.
Yeah. Oh, that was a lovely podcast. That was. Really enjoyed that.
Playing with this, just making funny, making funny like patterns on the EQ.